elements that just to me that made me feel like he ticked those requirements to the max.
Okay, so these quote unquote requirements that he's talking about were on Wikipedia, and it says typically this, typically that. It's not a generic definition. There is no definition of a serial killer. They're all different. No two serial killers are the same. That's why it's so complicated. That's why we know very little about them. And that's why they're so frightening. And that's why they're so interesting to people, is because we don't understand why they're killing people. The killers themselves can't clearly explain why they kill people. They're psychotic. They're serial killers. But we do, however, understand very clearly why gang members kill rival gang members.
Is Point and Shoot half black? Because he know you know what I mean? And he said exactly what the fuck I said before we even started the video, bro. How could you possibly call King Von a serial killer, nigga? He at war, nigga. That's like, so in that case, niggas in the military serial killers. You're at a war. You're playing a game, and this is a dirty game, and it's just what it is. It's not like he went around killing innocent people that ain't nothing to do with nothing. What the fuck is Trap Lord Ross talking about, yo? Thank you, Point and Shoot.
Because they're in a gang, and it's a vendetta. It's they're getting revenge on each other. They're fighting over corners. It's very easy to understand why they do it, because they're not serial killers. Okay, so in this next clip, Trap Lord Ross is going to idiotically suggest.
Shout out to my laddie lads. Don't forget my members. I need an Australian flag. I know I got one here, but I need one like right here somewhere. I'm trying to set up my background. All right, so give me an Australian flag. Send that to me. Get at my DM so I can let you know where to send it. On Trap Lord Ross, let me just keep it G. I haven't watched a Trap Lord Ross documentary in forever, probably over a year. I feel like he just started dragging it. He really did. Like, it went from hour documentaries, which were cool, you know, we was able to watch the whole hour. He got to the point to it be like damn near 3 days worth of shit, and it's just like, bro, get to the point. But it's like, whatever. I guess that's the whole point of documentaries. So Point and Shoot apparently comes for Trap Lord Ross. Yo, this shit about to be crazy, man. Shout out to Point and Shoot, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully you make fun of me one day. Who knows? Keep in mind, this video is for entertainment purposes only. It's mainly used for humor. It is fake commentary. Shout out to Point and Shoot.
Okay, so for this video, I want to talk to you guys about British YouTuber Trap Lord Ross, because he is completely out of control. He's a total weirdo and a goof. And I think he clearly has an agenda against the people that he covers in his videos. So for those who don't know who Trap Lord Ross is a dorky British true crime YouTuber that got famous for making a 3-hour YouTube video calling King Von from Chicago a serial killer. What? And I'm here to tell you guys that King Von was not a serial killer, and that this is all just a marketing scheme to get views and attention, and you're going to see exactly what I mean. So this is going to be the first clip. This is Trap Lord Ross in his famous YouTube video about King Von, where he accuses King Von of being a serial killer. Now, I want you guys to listen to why Trap Lord Ross is spewing this disinformation. Listen to this.
Now, the FBI defines a serial killer as a person who kills over 3 people with time spans in between them of more than a month. Furthermore, serial killers tend to have an element of psychological gratification, which plays a role in the motive for their murders. The FBI also state that a serial...
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, when that whole serial killer documentary came out, I said, yo, Trap bugging. Cause it's like, when you think of serial killer, bro, you think of Michael Myers, Jason. You think of motherfucking Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer. Come on, like, niggas that's really sick in the head, bro. It's not like this nigga was killing random niggas for no reason, nigga. They was at war, nigga. Street war. It ain't right, but there's a difference.
Serial killer might seek various kinds of gratification through their killings, such as anger, thrill-seeking, financial gain, or simply for attention. I personally believe that over the course of his career, King Von demonstrated all of these characteristics and can indeed be classified as a serial killer.
Okay, so here's what's going on. So back in the early 20s,
yo, light the blood. This shit about to have us screaming.
These serial killer documentaries were extremely popular. There were tons of documentaries coming out about the infamous psycho killers like Dahmer and Gacy and Rader. And I'm sure everyone remembers
what I just told y'all. Exactly. When I think of serial killers, that's what I think of. How the fuck you gonna call a nigga who playing the same game that niggas is playing with him a serial killer? That's why I didn't watch that documentary. I felt like Trap Lord was just saying shit just to say shit. Nigga, this is a serial killer. Nigga who just was killing innocent people. Motherfuckers who Vaughn was going after, they was at war, nigga. It was a beef. It was a street war.
remembers that Dahmer series on Netflix and how huge that was and how everyone wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. Well, this was the #1 genre, I think. The serial killer genre was huge. And so what I think happened was I think Trap Lore Ross was very aware of this surge in popularity of this specific genre, so he decided to make a serial killer documentary of his own. What? And so what I think he did was he intentionally crossed over the serial killer true crime genre with the drill rap genre, knowing that true crime was heavily trending. And he was also fully aware that King Von himself was heavily trending for having just been disallowed as one of the most popular artists in the country. So he's like, oh man, if I could just get King Von to be a serial killer, then I could just really tap into the algorithm. You know, this was intentional, I think. And so what he did was he used this generic FBI definition of a serial killer to try and paint King Von as like the same type of serial killer as like the Zodiac or Dahmer or Gacy, because he wanted his video to be recommended to people who consume a lot of true crime. He's manipulating the algorithm so that his video not only appears in hip hop fans' algorithms, but also in the algorithms of people who consume a lot of true crime, which is...
Yo, it's so crazy. I always wonder, because I'm like, why would he just call that man a serial killer? But I mean, I ain't knocking it though, you know, because he had his reasons as to why he said it. Do I agree with it? No, because like I said, when I think of serial killers, I think of Dahmer, Ted Bundy. But he had his reasons. But he definitely was clickbaiting. That was clickbaiting, you know. And that nigga been milking, yo, Trap Lord, no funny, you owe King Von family something, because you been milking the fuck out of that man's name. That's facts, and it's sad. No funny.
A lot of people. And I want to be clear that this is not a documentary. This is simply an idiotic, opinion-based, argumentative essay. And we know this from the provided thesis statement, which is completely 100% Trap Lore Ross's opinion.
I personally believe that over the course of his career, King Von demonstrated all of these characteristics and can indeed be classified as a serial killer.
So the goal of this video is to convince the audience that King Von's a serial killer. It's not to present facts to the audience and allow the audience to decide for themselves, which would be an actual documentary. Now, at the beginning of his video, he convinces his audience that King Von falls under this generic FBI definition of what a serial killer is.
Now, the FBI defines a serial killer as a person who kills over 3 people with time spans in between them of more than a month. Furthermore, serial killers tend to have an element of psychological gratification, which plays a role in the motive for their murders. The FBI also state that a serial killer might seek various kinds of gratification through their killings, such as anger, thrill-seeking, financial gain, or simply for attention.
So what Trap Lore Ross is doing here is he's trying to apply credibility to his nonsense claim that King Von was a serial killer by stating that he clearly falls under this generic FBI definition of what a serial killer is. The only problem is that Trap Lore Ross doesn't do actual research, and so he doesn't understand that the FBI never intended for this.
Yo, I could honestly tell you Trap Lord is definitely using an AI program. I could honestly, if y'all get at my how to do AI videos like Trap Lord, then you're going to see he's using the AI program. All you gotta do is, get at the video. It's going to be in the description. That's all he's using. And the problem with that is, nigga, do you have an opinion? Honestly, and I mean, granted, he did say I personally believe, but I feel like that even that belief came from AI. You know what I'm saying? Like,
quote-unquote definition to be used as a generic definition for serial killers. Now, I want to present this. This is actual literature from the U.S. Department of Justice Federal Bureau of Investigation. What? So this is a serial killer symposium. This is actual real research, and I want to show you what they say about the definition. And this is so interesting. So it says, although federal law provides a definition of serial murder, it is limited in its application. The purpose of this definition was to set forth criteria establishing when the FBI could assist local law enforcement agencies with their investigation of serial murder cases. It was not intended to be a generic definition for serial murder. What? So this is really misleading for Trap Lore Ross to offer this as like,
damn, yo, he cooking Trap. Yo, you think Trap gonna respond? Because Trap be responding, bro. He be in the hood too. Yo, and it's so funny. I want to speak on this. Shut up. It's what y'all came here for, I would hope. When I do hood vlogs, I be so like, I be mad. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm from the hood, nigga. I'm still in the hood. This is what I do, nigga. I get my money in the hood. Everything I do is the hood. You niggas be watching me, y'all in the hood. If you're not in the hood, then what up? You know what I mean? How is it in the suburbs? But I say that to say, what is it that's so fascinating with the audience that you want to see us in the hood? Like, why is he so obsessed with King Von? It's like, are you trying to live through us? Because take it from a nigga like me. Ain't nothing. This shit is scary, nigga. Granted, do we love it? Yes, because we have no choice but to love it. We're here. We gotta accept our conditions. It is what it is. But it's scary, bro. So the fact that we work so hard to get out the hood. Y'all be trying to work so hard to come in and see what we got going on and leave. Don't even really care. Don't really care. Even like I know the difference because when I do my hood vlogs, I'm focusing on the hood. Let's talk about what we could change. Let's compare the good neighborhoods and the bad so we can see this is how they treat us. I'm also getting to know the artists better. Tell me about your life. Tell me how things could be avoided. These niggas go in the ghetto and just be trying to exploit and you know what I mean? Like, oh, how can we laugh about this? This should be serious, bro.
Like a cut and dry definition as to what a serial killer is. It's a vague description and it's not cut and dry at all. And that's why Trapler Ross is very careful and he says, man, if he didn't enjoy the killings, if he didn't tweet about it, if he didn't, he says that King Von is a serial killer because he seemed to enjoy doing it.
I feel like the way Von carried himself, the way that he communicated these murders to the public through his music, and he got charged up off of that. I think these are the elements that make him like a serial killer, like the Zodiac killer sending these letters out to try and getting some excitement, like wanting to be caught. And I think
so. The FBI Serial Killer Symposium says that that's a common myth that Trapler Ross is saying here, that serial killers want to be caught. They do not want to be caught.
Some excitement, like wanting to be caught. And I think these are the elements that, just to me, that made me feel like he ticked those requirements to the max.
Okay, so these quote unquote requirements that he's talking about were on Wikipedia, and it says typically this, typically that. It's not a generic definition. There is no definition of a serial killer. They're all different. No two serial killers are the same. That's why it's so complicated. That's why we know very little about them. And that's why they're so frightening. And that's why they're so interesting to people, is because we don't understand why they're killing people. The killers themselves can't clearly explain why they kill people. They're psychotic. They're serial killers. But we do, however, understand very clearly why gang members kill rival gang members. Is
Point and Shoot half black? Because he know you know what I mean? And he said exactly what the fuck I said before we even started the video, bro. How could you possibly call King Von a serial killer, nigga? He at war, nigga. That's like, so in that case, niggas in the military serial killers. You're at a war. You're playing a game, and this is a dirty game, and it's just what it is. It's not like he went around killing innocent people that ain't nothing to do with nothing. What the fuck is Trap Lord Ross talking about, yo? Thank you, Point and Shoot.
Because they're in a gang, and it's a vendetta. It's they're getting revenge on each other. They're fighting over corners. It's very easy to understand why they do it, because they're not serial killers. Okay, so in this next clip, Traplord Ross is going to idiotically suggest that the motive behind King Von's alleged killings was that he wanted to tweet about it, and that's it.
If he'd have never started rapping and started teasing the world, trying to let everyone know that he killed these people, I wouldn't say he's a serial killer. I would, you'd say he's a gang assassin, he's a hitman, he's a gangbanger. But it was the way that he got so much gratification out of letting the world know.
So he's now suggesting that King Von's motive for killing people was that he wanted to tweet about it and seek attention from it. So he's going out looking for enemies to kill so that he can tweet about it. That's what Trapler Ross is suggesting here. The only problem with that is that King Von was obviously seeking revenge and targeting specific rival gang members in a get even type situation. This wasn't motivated by he needs attention for killing people. That's not what this is. Now, I'm not saying that no serial killer could ever be motivated by revenge. I'm not saying that at all, because any serial killer can be motivated by anything. It's not a cut and dried generic definition, and there may very well be a serial killer in existence that was motivated by revenge, but that would be a different category of serial killer, as there's multiple categories of serial killer. Trapler Ross is comparing King Von to the Zodiac. What? Okay, so this is like the type of true crime thriller movie type of serial killer.
And people ate that shit up, bro. Let's be real. That shit got like, what, 16 million views? Like, people really ate that shit up. And it's just like, I could not sit there and watch no 3-hour documentary about no British nigga talk. I'm sorry, bro. Hey, shit, even if he was black, bro, I don't think I could sit there for no 3 hours just listen to somebody just talk about one nigga. Like, I just... What the hell is wrong with us? Because not us, because I didn't watch that shit, but I don't know. No judgments here, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like I would get bored at a certain point. For all that, I could just put on the King Von album. Be less than 3 hours, and he'll tell me everything that Trap Lord said.
you know, the psychosexual kind. He's putting King Von in the same category as Dahmer and the Zodiac and all these weirdos. And I'm saying King Von was not a serial killer at all. He was a gangland assassin that was motivated by revenge because of the pain from getting his friends killed. It's a get even
King Von
thing.
was on a mission in 2012 to get revenge for the friends that he had lost to the gang war. Losing OD, Platoon and White White turned him into a demon, he said. So he would spend every day in the streets of Chicago stalking his ops.
But I wouldn't say he's a serial killer. I would, you'd say he's a gang assassin, he's a hitman,
So, nigga, why you just said... Let me let him cook.
he's a gangbanger.
So
but
King Von was actually a gangland assassin. He wasn't a psychotic serial killer like Trapler Ross is trying to romanticize him as. And so this is really interesting that he made this clever little hit piece, is what I call it. This is a hit piece. Trapler Ross does not like the people that he makes videos about. And you can tell by the way he talks about them. Listen to how he talks about Little Dirk.
TF, that stands for Order the Flights. You should have ducked those charges. Now Goldilocks is facing life. This is my 2 cents. How you sign a serial killer and think you're gonna make it to the end? I shot for ops, I shot for flights in Dubai,
No way.
Italy.
No way. And then look at this goofy ass nigga Adam. And then like, what the fuck? It would get me mad as black people really be around this nigga thinking that he gonna save. Well, I don't know what the fuck niggas is waiting for. This nigga done got niggas caught up in LA. Now he out here, up here in New York and shit. This nigga just got mad niggas caught up. Whole Ricos, all type of shit.
Dirk and Von were evil twins. Now he's facing death penalty.
So Trapler Ross is celebrating the fact that Dirk was looking
I don't like Adam. I don't give a fuck. I'll say it. I don't. And it's not because he's white. It's because I genuinely feel like he does not give a fuck. He don't. And it's like I can't blame him because maybe he don't give a fuck because he thinks we don't give a fuck because of the way we carry ourselves and we go on his platform and act like we don't give a fuck. But that's why I don't fuck with him, because you guys knew the amount of interviews that I do when I'm doing my hood vlogs, and sometimes they say shit and I'm like, I gotta take that out. We're not gonna start a beef. Let me take that out. He's probably high, don't know what he's saying. Niggas like Adam put that shit out. It's just ignorant. I just don't respect it. I'm sorry, bro.
at the death penalty, and he's like calling them Goldilocks and saying that he's evil and stuff. So I think that's so interesting that he calls himself a fan of theirs, but at the same time he's like celebrating their demise. Trapler Ross is not a fan of King Von or Dirk or any drill rapper for that matter, or anyone that he makes videos on for that matter. He hates them. He wants them all locked up, but he doesn't want that agenda out in the open, so he hides behind this, oh, I'm a fan, man. Oh, I love King Von. I love the drill. Ever since I was a young lad, I was a fan of the... He's not a fan. He just needs people to think he's a fan so he doesn't look a total culture vulture, okay? He's not a fan. How could you be a fan of someone who you think is a serial killer, a sadistic, murderous, psychotic serial killer? How are you a fan? That's like me saying I'm a fan of Jeffrey Dahmer's. That's completely stupid. And Math Hoffa actually brings this up.
Yo, he actually does have fans, though. Like, Jeffrey Dahmer has legit fans. Like, no funny? They even have, like Dahmer tours and, like, Dahmer, like, gifts. So it's mad weird shit. You can look that shit up, bro. I'm telling you, that shit weird as shit.
Up this exact point to Trapler Ross to his face in a podcast that they did in New York City. Listen to this.
But the reason I did it specifically, I was a huge fan of Von's music, right? And for me, it's the same reason I did the Youngboy video, where it's like, I just wanted to, even if I wasn't doing this as a job, I'd still be a King Von fan. And I would still want to know. If I heard him say he's got 7 bodies, I'd still want to know, yo, is that cap?
Now I'm confused. Because now you're saying you would be a fan of a serial killer.
I got a Von tattoo. I'm a fan.
You got a Von tattoo?
I got a Von tattoo.
Oh man,
See my Von tattoo right there.
This nigga just admitted that Von is a serial killer, and he has a tattoo of a serial killer. So he tatted a serial, because he said out his mouth that Von's a serial killer. He said that. He made the whole documentary. He said that. And he said it again. So now you're a fan of a serial killer and you have him tatted on you. This nigga is sick, bro. This is what I'm saying. This shit is sick. That's why I stopped watching him. It became weird. It went from, oh shit, he doing this, he showing us this. He even letting niggas know, like, listen, this is what we can find on the internet. So maybe y'all should chill when y'all doing your drills. He put niggas on. Then he started dragging it, bro.
Yo.
You say he read all the tweets.
Von tat.
Oh, you giving you vibes.
I want to get one.
King Von.
Von changed my life, man.
He got a King Von tat on the back of his fucking leg. So
You not dead ass. You not dead ass. Trap Lord Ross, you not dead ass. That's not even King Von. You played yourself all the way. You played the fuck out of yourself. That shit, that looked like King Von got cancer. You know what I mean? I don't even know. He played himself. He played himself.
true psychopath here is Trap Lord Ross, okay? And this doesn't make any sense. And Math Office says, how could you be a fan of a serial killer? And Trap Lord Ross's answer to that was, hey man, I got a Von tattoo. I'm a fan. What? That doesn't make any fucking sense. And so this sort of changed the subject. It was exactly what Trap Lord Ross was trying to do. He's trying to just like be like, look at my tattoo, man. Look, I got a tattoo. That's seriously alarming. He's got King Von, and this is a badge of honor.
Yo, this nigga I think he got a shorty. Let me know, drop a comment if y'all think Trap Lord got a shorty. Cause she was okay with this weird ass shit, bro. This shit is weird, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I know you're probably like, oh, TT, people get celebrities tatted on them all the time. Yeah, but he just said out his mouth that King Von's a serial killer. So how many people you know walk around with serial killers tatted on them? And not like made up serial killers. Actual serial killers.
Honor tattoo. This is what put him on the map. King Von put him on the map, so he got him as a badge of honor tattooed onto his leg. What a psycho. So at this point, it is 100% obvious to me that Trap Lord Ross was not a fan of King Von or drill music at all. He was a fan of true crime. Now, I do anticipate a lot of people out there disagreeing with me on this and saying that King Von was a serial killer and then he meets the crime.
No, I agree with you, point and shoot. And come on, bro. And that's why I said this nigga point and shoot got to be from the hood or some shit, bro. He been around it enough and he respects it enough. Unlike these other weird ass niggas, man. I'm out. Y'all subscribe for the vibe.